LPT, when going for a new job, tell them you earn more than you currently do, but you're happy to stay at your current salary. They'll usually give you a little bit more anyway, so you'll get a nice raise for yourself. I pulled this many moons ago. Owner asked me how much I was making currently, and without thinking I just said $7.50 more than I was. Owner offered me $2 more. In 1996, I was making $5.00/hours. Asked boss for a raise. Got bumped to $5.20/hours. Interviewed elsewhere. Told them I was making $6/HR. Got offered $6.25/hours. Told my boss I was leaving. And he asked how much they were going to give me. $7.50/hours. He gave me $8.50/hours to stay. What a cockslap to the face. Here's 20 cents peasant, someone else is willing to pay X. Fine. We actually know you're worth X to us, but I like fucking people over. You're worth precisely what it costs to replace you. Too true. In my industry you can be a complete turd, but if you can hide it until you get through the 7 months of training you up, companies will do anything they possibly can to keep you on the job. It just costs so much and takes so long to get out of a bad hire. Better yet, refuse to tell them your salary at all. When they know what you're looking for, they have the upper hand in negotiations. The first person to mention a number loses. Source: hiring manager for 8 years. Side note: I found them technique works well in salary negotiation. Basically this: hiring manager, we are excited to offer you $10 $10. Silence until they speak. Hiring manager offers more than $10. I had one before where we had the first interview and it came to questions about pay as I try and figure that out sooner rather than later. We can do $15/her. Immediately responded with, oh, that's a big shame. I like this place. Anyway, no point wasting each other's time. Maureened my put hand out to shake. They immediately offered more and started talking about their amazing benefits package, which, at best, was average. It was really underpaying for the job, and I figured if it's that far off there's no way they'll suddenly climb enough to a reasonable pay. I cut it short, decided to leave, and wish them luck. 3 missed called during the week. 1 voicemail on the last one. Offering $19, which goes from stupid low to simply below average on auto. Long speech about their award-winning benefits, which I really wanted clarity on how it's award-winning. It was basically standard. Ended up getting a phenomenally better offer the next week with less responsibilities, way better benefits, higher pay and better company reputation. 3 months into it, I got emails for the original job rehiring. Guessing whoever they got quit. What field are you in? Just curious. That's how I went from $24.50 to $39.90 an hour. What is your job, if you don't mind me asking? Went from a carpenter to OHS, occupational health and safety. And now every foreman hates you. Lol. Yep. Not just my own. Probably not unethical. They can't legally check when they call your employer as a reference. Your new salary should be based on the job, not what your previous salary was. Edit. Based on the replies. Some states/countries let employers check. Not all do. A lot of companies also have policies that say they'll only provide employment dates. I still stand by it not being unethical. If a position pays a certain range and you wind up making in that range, then it shouldn't matter what your previous salary was, because most people are changing jobs to get a better salary or benefits package. I don't think many people are doing lateral moves for the same salary, even though I know that does happen. Edit. If you're so concerned about lying when they ask your previous salary, just say I need $X to leave my current job. Your worth as a worker should not be based on your current or previous salary. It's more the lying part that is unethical. I told a friend to do it once, and she wasn't comfortable trying it. She's a good person, though. My friends do the same thing, but they do it opposite. They consistently interview to keep their skills sharp and present their new higher offer to the current employer and give them a chance to match it. They've not only matched, but beaten it to the tune of about $40k/year, but in the time span of less than 2 years. In addition, they don't have to start over in a position and can show a 5-year span of employment at one job versus a 3-year, 1 year and 1 year at 3 jobs. The less time you have to ramp up and become familiar at a new position, the more time you have to excel at your career. But wouldn't the employer become hesitant to keep you because you keep interviewing at new jobs? I'd like to know this as well. You'd have to be a really productive/valuable employee to be able to keep that job. At my old gig there was a guy on my team that did this. Switched to a different company and told them he made $6k USD more at his previous job. He told me what he was doing ahead of time. So when they called for a reference and asked me to confirm his rate, I only said we don't discuss rates in calls like this, but he'll say that we compensate our employees well above industry standards, which was a complete fucking lie. They gave him the 6k and then some. Downside is that 6 months later his new gig got sued by a major entertainment corporation, and they needed to lay people off. He was the highest paid member of his department, who had been there the least amount of time. It was a no-brainer for them to fire him. Oof. Interesting. Going to try this week. I'm GTFO of my current company. I'm on the same boat. Good luck to you in your interview. Thanks you too. Gotta keep moving up. In India whenever you switch the hiring company asks for the salary slip/statement and people have to give it. He don't know about the of it legality though. They asked me for previous month's salary slip and offered me a 20% hike on it. This should be illegal. Forge the salary slip. Give yourself what you think you're worth on paper and hand that over. Alpt, try negotiating your salary. I did this for my new job. Another tip is do your math. The lady asked me how much I made a week, and I was like, oh my god, I have no idea. How much do you make every 1/17 of a year? What is your pay every 5/29 of a fiscal quarter? Viciously calculates with abacus. / thinking noises / Guy I went to grad school with did this and got a job offer for $160k after previously making $115. Wow. A $159.885 raise. I should have known better. You have to live with your mistakes, old man. There is never anything unethical about doing over your employer. They would do the same to you quicker than spit. At my last job, I exited making 68k. I told the recruiter I made about 70k. I originally intended to ask for 78 and bargained down to 75k. I was offered 84k as a starter. Did you counter with HMN? I was hoping for around $90k. But I could meet you at $87k. I don't see any ethical dilemma in play here. You're in a negotiation and you are obligated to look out for your best interest. If your new employer is in a position to pay you more after you use this tip, then they were deceiving you with the initial offer. So you would not be the only one being deceptive. You would also say something along the lines of I would be willing to accept remuneration in line with my current pay and round that number up $5 or $10k. This is an ethical life pro tip. I'm glad for the validation I'm receiving here. Anyone I've ever told this to in real life has definitely been judgmental of it. Whatever the market will bear, I guarantee these companies aren't open and honest with their clients about their operating expenses and cost of goods sold. I thought they asked your previous job what your salary was, UK. I'm not sure about there, but I know we would never be allowed to ask that here in Ors. In Ireland it's fairly obvious in terms of tax paid so far and what you paid up to date for the calendar year. So if you claim to be on a lot more they can work it out if they are really interested. Example, join them in month 9 and you claim to be on 90k a year, but so far you have been paid only 45k, thus 60k for the year. Well then they know you were not truthful. I've never heard of anyone being called out on it, but it's something I'm mindful in interviews. I tend to aim higher, but not too high, and may explain it by something like an annual bonus paid at year end, etc. This would account for the difference if they ask the question. How would they know how much tax you paid before joining them? That's private information. We have something called a P45. You receive this when you leave a job and provide it to your new employer so they can set up your payroll/tax correctly. I could try this, but here in India, they ask for the previous employer's salary slips. That wouldn't fly in the US. For all states, all jobs. Reason I ask is I might be switching soon. I work in healthcare, nursing. Yes, when applications ask me how much I make and won't take anything but a number, I put 0 in the field and go into the interview ready to listen and ask questions. I'm in the same field, so everyone in the room knows you can find another job that day if you want one. Also, I found that online resources for how much places are paying are woefully underreporting for our field. A local hospital is listed as paying 16 to 24 based on experience and just hired an LPN for night shift at $30 straight out of school, and dialysis nurses are making as much as pharmacists while Google still has them listed at $66K. You should be okay as long as you don't let them lowball you. So they usually say the offer during interview. I have a friend who was just interviewed last week. They didn't say their offer during the interview, but sent a letter indicating the salary, so there was no chance at negotiating during the interview. How is it done in America? Should she have negotiated by calling? The letter makes it appear like a take it or leave it thing. I was thinking of moving to the same hospital, but knowing that my target is OPD, I'm trying to think how to get at least 30 to above, but I'm worried they might think this rate is too high for outpatient. I also chose psychiatric ward and geriatric in case outpatient rate is too low. I have no clue, as I'm coming from a long-term care facility in close proximity to the hospital I'm applying at, so they might actually know how much the facility is paying. It's at 27.47 and will see me as deceptive if I try to bargain. In the US, in many states, it's now illegal to ask your current salary. Any idea about California? It's illegal to ask about salary history in CAP. I've had several online applications in my field ask me my salary history. All California companies did this. Forgot I had a raise. Lowballed myself. r/tifu. I did this. Can confirm. Worked as advertised. Got a substantial raise and a great job. Also, not unethical. All you have to say is given my previous salary, I would need $XX for this move to work for me. That's not a lie. It's a personal observation about where you want your next salary to be. We are here to grow, and a new job is a step. Get that cheddar. Another tip that some feel is unethical. Apply for any job you feel you can do. Don't be dissuaded by the job requirements. I was shocked that people follow those so strictly, like 5 years experience in JavaScript development when you only have 1. Just apply. There's no reason not to. They are going to pick the best from a pile of resumes, and they often just use boilerplate job postings and forget what they originally asked for anyway. A friend, a manager for a huge tech company, was wondering why no fresh grads never applied for a position, and he thought about it and said maybe the job description requires 3 years of experience. Not sure, because even he doesn't know what the job posting says. I'm upskilling in BIM, and this kind of information is great to have. Saw some postings for some great jobs, but were out of my reach. I'll just keep honing and just put myself out there. Better to never discuss your current salary. Instead, say how much you're willing to move for. Pad that a bit too, to give them a chance to negotiate. Given that you can never truly know a potential company's true total compensation due to various factors like how much overtime they expect you to work, quality of their insurance partners, you should always calculate your total salary as a sum of all your benefits, wages, and bonuses that you usually receive. Any company that is worth it and really wants you will beat that sum with their base salary. This goes double for any technology or other on-call position where overtime could be demanded for any reason. I did this once and doubled my salary /view 200D. Totally worth it. No, you don't tell them how much you make, and you never throw out the first number when it comes to salary negotiations. Always Always have them give the first number. They could very well have a much higher number in mind than you thought you could get. Let them set the floor. If you had opened your mouth and said a lower number, you just set the ceiling and screwed yourself out of more money. Seems to me it's much more likely their number will be a lot lower because they're hoping you're desperate for a job. For example, my current part-time job is $28 per hour. Quite a few of the similar jobs I'm looking at are offering like $16 to $18, and that is after showing them a decade of work history, multiple certificates and licenses, etc. They aren't going to offer high, at least not unless you're high profile enough that multiple companies are bidding for you. Ops advice wasn't to tell them how much you make, it was to lie and claim you're making more. I did a variant of this when I was hired for my current position. I was on $116k in my last job, and they asked what my pay expectations were. I thought I might be able to get $150k out of them, so I added 10k on top of my expectations and asked for $160k, and they gave it to me. This is Australia BTW. Iminors. 2. Way to value yourself. Good on you for getting the job. Also, you only need to get another $60k a year and you can afford to have a second family. I hear. Bahahaha. I actually know that guy, and he is a fucking idiot in real life too. I'm changing positions within my current employer. This might not go as planned. I did this, and they told me they won't be able to offer me as much, and that they felt I'm only doing my job for the money lol. I genuinely thought it was assumed that you lied when a new employer asked your salary, kinda how everyone lies about how many people they've slept with. You just kinda read between the lines. Kinda how everyone lies about how many people they've slept with. You just kinda read between the lines. Holds up 3 fingers. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.